everyone. Welcome back to episode 34 of Talk of Fame podcast. I'm Kylie, and today we have on the lovely actress and producer, Yari Pernia. Thanks for coming on here, Yari. I'm so happy to have you on.
Hi, Kylie. Thank you so much for having me. And hi, everyone listening. I'm very, very excited.
Me too. I'm so excited to have you on. So over the last 2 years, we've been in isolation, quarantining. What is something that you did over the last 2 years that you wouldn't have time to kind of do before?
Well, you know what? It's been interesting the past couple of years, with quarantining and everything. But I did get into meditating and journaling the past couple of years, and I feel like it has helped me so much. Not just growing as a person, but as an actress as well. And for me, journaling especially has been the most important thing that I've gotten to do, just because I got to realize how much negative thoughts and doubts and fears I had, especially surrounding my career, and writing them down really helped me move past them and just be able to change the narrative and just be more positive and happy with everything that I'm doing. And same thing with meditation. I mean, I think it goes hand in hand with journaling. So those are my two top things that I've been doing.
Oh, absolutely. Meditation is such a big part of my life. I started throughout quarantine as well. My mom and my sister did meditation. They do it every single day, and they basically begged me to do meditation because I have anxiety and depression. You're like, Kylie, this will be perfect. And it became a huge thing in my life that I just can't get over. And I'm starting to do journaling, which I'm pretty excited to do. Whenever I need to write something down, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this right now.
Yes. Yeah.
This becomes a huge part of my life for some reason. I'm not sure, but there's something about it that's become such a big part of my life for some reason.
It's true. Yeah, I think once you start doing that, I mean, sometimes it takes a while for people to begin. But I think once you start doing it and you realize how much it helps you, it becomes a part of your life. Like you said, like you don't want to stop doing it, and it helps you so much in every part of your life, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. So since we've kind of been in quarantine, it has so much time over basically the last year, spending so much time at home. Did you binge watch any movies or shows over this time?
I definitely have, with all the free time. I love watching shows that have long seasons just so I can binge watch them, like you said. There's two of them. So one of them it's a reality show, MTV's The Challenge. I'm obsessed with that show now. And then my sister loves The Vampire Diaries, and growing up she would always talk about it, and I never got to watch it. So I was like, you know what, let me give it a try. Let me see what it's about. And so I watched the whole thing and I loved it. Enjoyed it so much so that I started watching the original, so the spin-off of The Vampire Diaries.
Is it really good? Because my friends keep telling me to watch it, but I just didn't know if it was good or not.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it at all.
Oh my God.
I've seen clips of it, but it's not every single episode.
Yeah, that's like me. I would see here and there with my sister, but no, you should definitely watch it. It's a really good show. It's a really good storyline as well.
Oh, for sure. Do you watch Grey's Anatomy, since it's a long couple seasons?
Yeah. So I actually started as well. I got as far as, I think, season 8, if I'm not mistaken. So I got to keep it going with that one as well. That one is also really interesting. Yeah. It's so amazing to me how they've been on for 19 seasons now. I don't even
18, 18, but it just got renewed for 19 seasons.
There you go. Yeah. So it's amazing to me how they come up with the stories, to keep the storyline going. It's amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Absolutely. In August, I started watching Grey's Anatomy because I only watched season 11 because Gina Davis is in season 11, so I was like, why not?
Oh, I love Gina Davis.
I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah,
she's my idol, and she's the reason why I'm doing this. That can be a whole another episode. This type of thing that can go on. She's the reason why I'm doing this.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
No,
she's amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing, absolutely. And so I obviously got hooked. My friend got me hooked. And so I finished 2 seasons in 3 days. And
are you serious?
Yeah. And so I'm currently on season 7 right now. And so like I'm just
Wow.
a mess. Like every episode I
Yeah.
watch, I'm like, okay, you guys are taking this too far right now for me.
I know. I know. It's like every season, especially every season would end like, oh my God. Like now I need to watch the next season because what's gonna happen? They really catch you like that.
Yeah, there's something that happens in wait. Oh, I season something happens in season 8, but I don't know about season 9. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but
I wonder, well, you can tell me, you can tell me. I'm pretty sure we were talking about the same thing. So
the plane crash.
yes, the plane crash. Oh my God. That broke my heart because, well, Mark was one of my favorite characters, and Lexi as well. And oh my God, so seeing that, it was heartbreaking. Like he was literally my favorite character on the show.
Yeah, I absolutely was. I'm obsessed with Mark and Lexi. Like at first, like once Mark came in, I was like, oh, I don't know about him. But then, like as time went on, I like started liking them. But I absolutely was obsessed with Lexi and Mark. But my favorite has to be like Meredith and Derek. Absolutely.
Of course, no, that's like
or Addison Montgomery or any of them.
Either of them is fine with me. But yeah, I mean, both couples are amazing and such a joy to watch. But just I think Mark as like the character, him passing away, I was like, come on. And that I normally don't cry, especially watching shows, but when that happened, oh my God, I cried.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not really ready for that. I'm just not ready to watch Lexi Mark die. I know that I'm gonna be sobbing my heart out. But when George O'Malley died, I literally sobbed.
Oh my God, that one was. It's so sad, but that's the thing. Like they get you so hooked on, and you start loving these characters, and especially going on for 18, 19 seasons now. Some of them are gonna die, but it's so hard to watch.
Yeah, like sometimes you just want to keep watching and just see the part, just to get it over with.
Yeah,
that's what I do. Is just to watch it, just
exactly.
Get over
like
with.
There's been so many spoilers, obviously, for people have been watching it for years, and we both started late, right? So
yeah,
you kind of already know what's coming. So I'm the same way. I'm like, okay, I know what's gonna happen, but it's still hard to watch.
Yeah, it's so hard to watch. Like my friend came over for the shooting episode in season 6. And I absolutely was frightened. And I was like so scared. I started crying. I was like, please don't do this to me right now. Derek, seriously, don't do this to me. My friend literally had to hold me and be like, Kylie,
oh my God. It's a show. I know. That's what I tell myself when I watch something that I know it's like so heartbreaking. I'm like, okay, you know what? It's just a movie. It's just a show. Let me breathe. But it's so hard. You really become so attached to these characters, especially if you watch them for so long, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I kind of mentioned before, you're an actor and producer. What kind of made you want to start that?
Well, it's funny. I had no idea that I wanted to be an actress. Like I went to school for social work. I was in university, and my first year of university, you get to choose electives. So I said, oh, let me just try theater for beginners. That sounds like fun. It sounds like it would be easy. So that's when I fell in love with it. That's when I realized that this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And it took me a long time, though. It took me a couple of years to kind of, I don't know, I guess, convince myself to do it, especially because I was, in school for social work. And but after I started, of course, I couldn't stop. And with the producer, that's another thing that I didn't know I wanted to do. A couple of friends of mine that wrote the short film Hot Water Frog Prince, they actually were in the acting class with me, and they wrote this short film that's kind of like a spin-off, a comedic spin-off of Princess and the Frog. So they reached out to me and they said, hey, why don't you come along and help us produce and choose the actors and all of this. And I said, okay, why not? But I ended up loving that as well. I didn't know I was going to have as much fun behind the camera as I do in front of it. So yeah, I mean, now I love doing both things, and I hope to someday, get into writing and directing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how I was with the podcast. I started April 2021, and I did not expect myself to have a podcast of my own. Like I've listened to a lot of
Yes.
podcasts, but I never pictured myself having my own podcast. And so like I grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania. And so like it was kind of not normal to have a Pennsylvania like native do a podcast. Like
Right.
it's really known to be like like basically you're known for having farms, I would say.
Right. Yeah.
And so I was basically grew up being really shy. I was always an independent girl. Like I was always doing things myself. Like I never liked to be in the spotlight. I was like, okay, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And so like I knew I wanted to be in the industry, but I just didn't know what exactly I wanted to do. And so people always told me that I would always be a good journalist since I knew everything in industry and sports and all those things. And they went on for like 2 years. I went on 2 years. And I was like, okay, I don't care anymore. It's just getting a little bit annoying. But whatever you guys say, I try to change things. And I never really took it as serious. Yeah. I kind of thought I would. I put it kind of in the thought, but I just never kind of put it as serious. I just like, okay, I have things to worry about than this. And so in quarantine, I really had nothing to do. And I was bored. And so the only thing I was doing is watching TV, watching television. And I was like, okay, this is not good for myself. Like I can't just sit around watching TV. This is not good for me because I don't want to be laying in bed and watch TV all day. And leave my parents' house until like 40. Like I don't want to do that. And so like I just don't want to become one of those people. And so like I started and I kind of thought, okay, like I need to do something. So I kind of thought about it, and like now almost a year later I'm still doing this. So
good.
Still change though, really.
Yeah, no, and good for you for having something like of your own and a platform that you use to inspire others. I mean, I think a lot of people need that. And I feel like that's sort of how it happens. Like you don't really know what you want to do and you just stumble upon something, like some kind of situation happens and you're like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to try to do. This is what I'm going to do. And then you end up loving it. I mean, a year later, good for you.
Yeah, thank you. Like I kind of thought like, oh, this is probably not going to become a year-long thing for me. Like I'm usually a person that likes to quit stuff early on. And so I always kind of been that way. So I was like, oh, this is probably not going to become a thing that I do for a long time. But then after doing a couple episodes, I kind of fell in love with it. And so I can literally do like 10 interviews a day and it won't get bored. And like,
wow, that's amazing. Well, this is exactly the thing for you then, if that's how you feel. 100% it's for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you played a role in Bedtime Stories and Men that came out in 2017. What was your experience playing that role?
That was very fun. That was actually my first speaking role in front of the camera. I loved it. I still talk to the guy, a great actor. And I think it was a really, really good beginning experience for me.
Oh, absolutely. That's amazing. Like not a lot of people, like these as actors, and especially kind of women, it's hard to get woman roles in the media, like represented and get opportunities, especially no matter how old you are, it gets very kind of hard to get roles. But like what's kind of like your thought about it, like the woman getting more opportunities as kind of like men? Like what's kind of your like thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, I agree with you. I feel like it's a lot harder for women to get not only the roles but also the recognition for the work that they do. I feel like there's still a bit of inequality in that sense. But I feel like we're leaning towards going towards a change. So that's very exciting to see. I feel like people have been becoming more aware of the inequality, not only between men and women, but races as well, right? So I think that we're heading towards the right direction. I'm really excited to see where it's going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm like things have really changed since like 20 years ago. Things were on screen it was like 3-to-1 men, and now I believe it's 2-to-1. I believe it's the media thing and in the movies and stuff. So I'm very happy that it actually changed since like kind of 20 years ago, since there's been a lot more male characters. It is
Yes.
It's something I'm really kind of passionate about, that I've been working on outside podcasts, and then trying to do as much as I can to help.
Yeah, no, I think it's important for all of us to advocate for each other, right? And I know exactly what you mean, because I even watch shows, you know, that are like 10 plus years old, and you can see the difference. You can see the main cast, or you know, the crew, the people behind it were mostly male. And now I feel like there's more opportunities for others, which is very exciting, but I feel like we still have a long way to go to make it fully equal for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. So do you have anyone that you look up to in the industry as an actor and producer, or just kind of in general?
Yeah, well, for me, I feel like I look up to the people around me a lot. Like my best friend, she's Daniela, she's a dancer, and I've just seen her grow as a dancer and as a person over the years. And then I have another friend of mine, Andrea Gallo, who's also an actress, my really good friend, Umberly Gonzalez. They're all really good actors who are so passionate about the work, and you can see the growth. And but in terms of, you know, known or famous people, I really love Gary Oldman. I love Benedict Cumberbatch, Glenn Close, Jennifer Carpenter. I feel like those are all really, really amazing actors. And I look up to actors who, you know, if I see them in different films or shows, I don't recognize them as being the same person. So I look up to them for that reason. And then in terms of like directing, like I told you, I want to get into writing and directing at some point in the future. James Cameron definitely would be my top choice for that. I think he's amazing, very talented.
For sure. Like there is like so many people in the industry. There's so many people like that I look up to, like kind of like Gina Davis, Hugh Jackman, Patrick Dempsey, Ellen Pompeo, Kate Walsh. Like those are my biggest inspirations. And it's my biggest dream to be home and hope to have them on the podcast at least sometime. And so they're my biggest like inspirations. I don't know where I'd be without them, like kind of their inspirations and guiding me, like watching and them giving tips and that will touch me, and that's trying to lead it on. And so of course, like Jeff Ranson, I love Jeff Ranson as well. So of course I've got Jeff Ranson. Like who doesn't love Jeff Ranson?
I have no idea who does not love her. Like she is amazing in everything that she does as well. I mean, there's so many good people, and I feel like not only talented in what they do, but also people who like advocate and share and inspire others. I think that's also very important, because I mean, you have this huge platform, everyone knows you and knows about you and can hear what you're saying or what you do. And I think it's really important for them to use their platform for the good. So everyone that, you know, I named and you named, I feel like they do that.
Yeah, absolutely. They basically all do that. They all have their own platform, and basically people that we said are kind of like big name actors are basically well known. And so like basically whoever they do, people love. Like they always kind of do, like they always like love or hate it, no matter what you do. Like I was saying, that's like kind of one of my dreams, is to make it big like that. Maybe not as big, but big in some kind of way. I want to be like a famous person that someone like a lot of people know about. That's kind of why I want to be.
Of course.
And so it's the industry is like a hard place to be in, absolutely, from what I know and everything. from what people tell me and different experiences, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I want to be big, but then sometimes I'm like, okay, I want to be big. It depends on the day.
It depends. Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell people, it is really hard to be in this industry. It's very hard, but as long as you love what you're doing, the results will come always.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if someone like comes up to me or there's something a them and you're like I want to be in the industry, how to like get into the industry, I'm thinking to myself like, well, kind of don't be in the industry. I kind of don't recommend.
Yeah.
But because like it's such a hard place to be. I kind of don't recommend being in the industry, but whatever makes you happy, go for it. Like go
of course,
where you want to be. And so like what is some advice for your younger generations that would like to be in the industry one day?
Sorry, say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. So
okay.
What is some advice for younger generations that would like to be in the industry one day?
Well, let's see. I have a few things to say about that. The first might be like really cliche and very simple, but just follow your dreams and follow your goals. And I think having a clear-cut, specific and precise image of what you want to do and who you want to be is really important. And again, like I said before, if you want to be in the industry, you should if you want to, but only if you love what you do. Like if you have a really, really big passion for acting, directing, producing, whatever it may be, make sure that you love what you do, because it's going to be a lot of hard work. It's most likely it won't come overnight, right? So I think making sure that this is something that you see yourself doing for the rest of your life is very, very, very important. And as I mentioned before as well, I think with journaling, I think journaling is really important in this case as well, just because you can write down and see all your fears and your doubts and the way that you see yourself and change it for the better. I think it's really important for people to be in control of their feelings and their emotions and how they view themselves in the world. And that makes all the difference. And honestly, I feel like a lot of the time people give up too early because they don't get what they want as soon as they want it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you give it your all and you give it your 100% and you love what you do and you work hard, I feel like there is no such thing as failure, because you're at some point it'll happen for you. It might not be in a year or 2 or 5, who knows when it'll happen, but as long as you go after your dreams and what you love, it will happen.
Yeah, absolutely. That was like the biggest kind of hardest part for me. Is like sometimes I like to try things. I think sometimes things will come over overnight, and it does. And that's kind of like a thing I've learned, is like things don't come overnight.
Yeah.
And so even when I tried to get guests on, let's say like a bit like A-lister, like I said before, like Gina Davis and all those lists. Yeah, I try to email and like be like, no, they're not available or something. Now I'll be like, well, I might as well stop trying now. Like I give up. And so like, and then like I just keep sending emails or messages every single day. I'd be like, can you come on, please? Like, can they please put something in your schedule for me, please? For at least 10 minutes. Like, it's not that bad. I'm like, oh,
yeah, keep doing it. I mean, keep doing it. You have to ask. One of the things I've learned is you have to ask for what you want, or you have to let people know what you want, because you never know who you're going to meet. But that's a really important thing. Like it's like with anyone who chooses to do any career, you have to constantly push. You have to keep asking. You have to keep going. At some point, it will happen. Again, it might not be now. I also had that same problem when I started. I actually quit a few months after I started taking acting seriously, because I said, you know what, this is going to be probably a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. So maybe I'm not ready. And I think I made the right choice by stepping away and then coming back when I felt like I was mentally ready to face everything all over again. But yeah, that's all it is. I mean, you just have to keep going. If this is something that you love and you cannot picture your life without it, it doesn't hurt to do it, because either way you'll be happy, whether you're, famous or not. You're doing what you love, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So like you were on a episode of the show Good Sam. What was that process like for you to get that role?
Oh my gosh, that was so far the most amazing experience I've had. I auditioned for it. I think it was 2021, January 2021. And I did the audition, and I was normally it takes a while sometimes for you to hear back if you got the role or not. But I within a few days I heard that I got the role, and then I went on Google just to find out who was going to be on the show. I tried not to do that because then I start overthinking, right? But once my agent said you got it, I went on and I saw Sophia Bush is the star of the show. And then there's also Jason Isaacs, and I am a huge Harry Potter fan. So growing up watching both of these people, I was like freaking out. But honestly, it was the most amazing experience. Everyone, all the actors, everyone on set was so nice. And it was just such a huge deal for me to be in the same room acting alongside two people that I grew up watching. So, and I learned so much from them, so much. So it was honestly like the best experience so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I basically grew up like watching Full House, and like that was my show. Like Full
Yeah.
House. I used to watch every single day, all day, every single day. That my parents to the point where they would get annoyed that I kept watching it. And so, and I'm like, I don't want to get into Bob Saget dying possibly last night.
Oh
I
my
just don't get into that. I was literally sobbing, crying last night. I couldn't believe I was in total shock that he passed away. Like I'm still in shock. Like I just can't believe he died. And if you called me on the phone, you would hear me sobbing, crying. Like I can't believe this. And I literally couldn't sleep. Like I was like, I can't sleep tonight. Like Bob Saget was the biggest. Like I grew up watching him in the cast of Full House and Full House, and he made really tremendous impact on me. And so, and ever since I was a little kid, even though I didn't personally know him, like he made such a huge impact on me that like I was like, okay, this is not possible. Like in the Full House family, like their TV show family, but they kind of felt like my family since I grew up watching, and this like we're a happy family kind of felt like they're my family as well. Like like that. And like I didn't like still in total shock about Bob Saget. Like I'm just like, okay. Like I can't believe this.
It was really shocking when I found out last night as well. And I couldn't believe it just because, I mean, I also grew up watching Full House. I even watched all of the seasons of Fuller House. I'm a huge fan. And so hearing those news, first of all, he was still quite young, right? So that's not something that you expect happening. And it was really shocking. It's his character as Danny. I mean, it made a huge impact on all of us growing up watching him, because it, like you said, it felt like we were a part of the family as we're watching them, you know, grow up. We're growing up with them. So that was really shocking for me. And then the other one that was really shocking as well was Betty White passing away.
Yeah.
I mean, she was much older, but I mean, I wish that I got the chance to work with somebody like that, who has been in the industry for so many years, so successful, such an amazing human being as well. And it's shocking, and it's hard when people like that we look up to or that we grew up watching pass away, because it does affect us, of course.
Yeah, and like Bob Saget and Betty White were like amazing, well-known people in the industry, very talented. And Bob Saget and Betty White are kind of like a good example of kind of why I want to be. And so like, Bob Saget was someone I kind of wanted to work with in any type of way. I wanted to work with him in any way, or in any of the cast of Full House, any way. They just made the biggest impact on me, and like I just will never forget it, the impact it made on me. And so like I can't explain it that much. Like it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like I can't like when I found out that he passed away last night, like a piece of me kind of broke. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
gosh, like this hurts.
Yeah.
This kind of hurts.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard. I mean, that's the way I felt when Michael Jackson passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was also, I mean, that was somebody that I looked up to just because of how talent and how much work he put into his career. So it sucks, but at the same time, they leave a legacy behind as well as something that we are always going to remember them for. And fortunately, we can always look back and watch, Bob Saget or hear Michael Jackson's music. So in a way, they're still with us.
Yeah, like Michael Jackson is like, I can't explain how much I love Michael Jackson. He is one of my all-time favorites. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I
me too.
literally listen and dance to his music every single day. Like, he
All
knows
day. Yeah.
his music always knows how to lift me up. Me and my sister will always dance to his music. He's just made a huge impact on me. Like,
Oh, yeah.
when I was young, like, I didn't really understand the meaning of Michael Jackson. When I was young, I was like, I don't know who he is, but like, I don't know if I want to look up to him and stuff. Like, I didn't know too much about him, but now as I get older and learning, I'm like, okay, I want to be Michael Jackson someday. Like,
Yeah.
I really want to be
Michael Jackson. Yeah, no, it's crazy. And that's such a good point. Like, his music kind of lives on. He started way before, both of us were even born probably. So the fact that we still listen to his music now and future generations as well, it says a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So as you kind of talked about working with Sophia Bush on the show, like, what was it kind of like for you to work with her?
Oh my gosh, it was, I don't even have the word for it. I grew up watching her on the show One Tree Hill. So I was already a big fan of hers. And, going in the industry as a quote unquote beginner, you sometimes are nervous about how certain people will be. You just never know the personality that they have. But she was such a sweet person. So that made it really, because I have a couple of scenes with her, but I have one scene in the show where it's just me and her. So just the fact that she was so sweet and so professional beforehand made it really easy to work with her. So I'm really thankful for that opportunity. I mean, it was amazing to work with her.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I always think about like what like people I look up to. I'm thinking to myself, like, are they nice? Like, how am I going to react to this? Like, are they nice? Like they are like on like TV, or do you seem like they're nice people? And so like when I did an interview with Madison Watkins, it was kind of like early on in like my kind of first mid was starting out, and I was a huge like fan of her. Like, I loved her music. Like, her music is made the biggest impact on me, and like she inspired me to keep going myself. And I was like nervous. I was like, how is she gonna be? Like, is she gonna be nice? Like, what? I'm kind of nervous about what's going on. And she came out with being the sweetest person. Like, we kind of talked before the interview. Like, we kind of text each other a couple of times and talked and stuff. And I just remember sitting there talking, and we were having such a nice conversation. Like, she made the biggest impact on me, and like, and I remember just sitting there shaking and being like, okay, I need this right now. Like, I'm kind of one of my favorite people that made like one of the biggest impacts on me ever. And I'm like, okay, how this is amazing. I can't describe it.
Yeah, no, I know. It's good when the celebrities that we know turn out to be amazing people in real life as well, just because I've heard of a few stories of my friends or other people that have worked with well-known people in the industry, and it's like, oh, they're not as nice as they look, right? So it's always nice to meet with somebody like Madison or Sophia, who regardless of their status are just really beautiful human beings.
Yeah, for sure. So the final question for the interview is, you were part of a music video called Lost. What was the experience to be part of that music video?
Well, that was really fun. That was back before I even knew I wanted to act. I was actually modeling for when I was younger. So the director, Manny, contacted me through, I forget what website it was on, but he contacted me and said, listen, I have this role, police officer for a music video. Why don't you come out and, check it out? And I did. And it was my first experience really acting, even though I had no dialogue, but it was my first experience. And that kind of was the spark that I needed to take the next step forward. Like when I was in a university and I saw the acting class, I said, okay, maybe let me give this a try. But it was really fun. It was really fun. I actually still talk to everybody that worked in that project. Everyone was so sweet.
Yeah, awesome. Like that's what I love about like doing podcasting is like talking to so many people like you and everyone in the industry and athletes as well in the sports industry and stuff like that is I can talk to them and basically still keep in contact with all of them and like get to hang out with them at some points and let's get to know them and become like good friends. That's like my favorite part about it. It's like you sometimes I think of myself like, how is this my life right now? Like I'm friends with some people I never thought I'd be friends with, and this is the dream. Like I can't believe this. Like this is like my dream kind of life I wish for, really.
Good. That's so amazing to hear, and that's what it's all about, right? Like you're putting in the work and you're getting the results, and that's how it is. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, for sure. So I just want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I had so much fun talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll definitely speak soon. You're amazing.
Thank you.
We'll definitely speak soon.
Yes, we will. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. It was very lovely talking to you.
You too. Same to you as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kylie.
Of course.
Bye-bye.